Hey y'all, Chef IrixGuy here, back again with another how-to video for ribs. Now today, and you can see right here, I've got an assortment of meat on the top. Those pre-cut individual pieces, those are called country-style ribs. Go to your local grocery store, local butcher, etc., and they probably got those. Now those are they don't have any bones in them. And they've typically got really good flavor. A lot of people don't like them because they think they're kind of fatty. But that's a matter of personal preference. I wanted to do a variety. So I've got those on top. And then on the bottom, I've got a rack of baby back ribs. You can kind of see it right there. And then the other half of it's over there. Now what I did, I got the SPG from Suckle Brothers that you can see right there. You can check the link within this video's description, and you can order that online from Snag Bear. It's just a really good thing to start your ribs with. It's salt, pepper, and garlic. And I don't know, it may have other ingredients, I'd have to check, but it's just a good base to really get that barbecue flavor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, and this is where this preparation is a little bit different, and I may actually offend a lot of professional barbecuers when I share this tip. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to bake these. I'm going to cover this with aluminum foil, and I'm going to bake these for about 2 hours. Now, obviously, they will not be done in 2 hours. But what I'm going to do is bake them for 2 hours, and that'll help with tenderness. It'll help to really allow this SPG, the salt, pepper, and garlic, to penetrate the meat. And then what I'll do is I'll smoke them in my Dyna-Glo vertical smoker. So this is just part one of the process, and you probably see those onions in there. I didn't put the onions in there to eat. I just put the onions in there to enhance the flavor while this cooks. And also what I'm going to do in the bottom of this casserole dish, I'm going to put just a very thin layer of water. So that way when they're baking in the oven as part of the preliminary step, that water will help to further enhance the tenderness of these ribs. So again, this is just step one. Well, actually step one was putting the ribs in there and and sprinkling them generously with the SPG. So now what I'm going to do is cover them with aluminum foil after I put just a thin layer of water in the bottom of the casserole dish. And then I'm going to let them bake for about 2 hours. You know, it's not my goal to finish cooking these ribs in the oven. A lot of people do that. They cook exclusively in the oven, but if you do that, you don't get the wood smoke flavor. And that's why I'm going to start them out in the oven, but then I'm going to finish them up on top of hickory, or you could use other wood. I think I'm going to use hickory today instead of apple wood. And that's where you get the good barbecue flavor. So this is giving you the tenderness and helping to kind of cheat with the process. And then the smoker is going to finish them up. And this is a couple hours later. You can see how, even within this video, you can see how tender everything looks. Obviously, there's no smokiness or anything yet because they haven't hit the smoker, but you can see how tender and moist the meat is. And that's why this preliminary step, again, what a lot of people would refer to as cheating, this preliminary step is important because it's really going to tenderize that meat and get it somewhat cooked. So when you put it in your smoker, you're just finishing it up. You're adding the smokiness. So now let's take it out to the smoker. Again, check the link within this video's description. You can find the smoker I use, also the SPG that I put on top of this, as well as the wood chips. Today I'm actually using apple wood instead of hickory, and you can mix it up however you want to, but it's going to give it different flavor. So I've got the smoker going outside. It's It's right around 225, 230. So I'm going to go ahead and put these in there. And while they smoke, I'll spray them periodically with 100% apple juice. This right here is the next step. I've got my apple juice, just 100% apple juice right there that I'm using to spray. I spray it periodically every 30 minutes or so. And then I've got the soaked apple wood. You could use hickory or other woods. Check the link within this video's description. You can find where to buy it online. And then obviously I'm using the Dyna-Glo smoker. You can find this within this video's description. Now, I'm a little bit on the high end today. You can see that gray area right there, which is the optimal smoking temperature. Usually I'll do it around 225, 240, but it's a little bit warm, so it won't take me as long today. You can obviously regulate the temperature by the amount of coal, charcoal that you put in, as well as the airflow. There's a vent on the top and then a vent on the side. So I'm actually going to tweak that here in just a second. But yeah, I've got the country style ribs and the spare ribs inside. So this is going to give them that really good wood smoke flavor. In this case, apple wood. And again, the apple juice that I spray on them, it helps with tenderness and also helps with coloration and flavor. So one of the last steps, and a lot of people don't really like to sauce their ribs up, but I do. So the last 20 minutes or so, I'll be adding a really good, usually I make my own barbecue sauce, but today I'm just going to use a store-bought one. And you can find it within the link within this video's description too, but just a good way to sauce them up and make them perfect. So this is the finished product, the country style ribs. Now obviously I did baby backs and country style, but the country style was ready first. You can see that how moist they are. That's heavily due to the cooking method that I use, because I use the baking. I baked them and then I put them in the smoker, and I kept them moist while smoking by spraying with a water bottle that had 100% apple juice in it. So you can see how good that looks. I mean, these are just, I couldn't have made them any more perfect. I mean, they really. Okay, so these are the country style ribs, and you can see how perfect that is. Just the perfect moisture. Got the sauce on it. You could do these with or without sauce. I like to have the really good ketchup-y and sticky sweet barbecue sauce. But I just want to show you how good these look when you cut into them. And again, these are the country styles. I've also got the baby back ribs on the smoker. But it's just perfect. You're going to see the meat throughout. It's perfectly cooked. It's not too firm. It's definitely not too soft. Now, one thing you will notice, and this is where people that only cook on the smoker are going to criticize me for this video. You don't really see a big pronounced smoke ring on the exterior, on the outer edge. And that's due to the fact that primarily I cook these in the oven. I baked them in the oven. So that's one thing you don't get. I mean, obviously this is not competition quality barbecue, but when you serve it to your friends and family, they're going to think it's the best barbecue ever. So let's get those baby backs off the grill and see what they look like. I mean, these country style are perfect. Look at that. Absolutely perfect. So these are the baby backs, and they're right out of the smoker. You can see how perfect everything looks. The sauciness, just the overall doneness. They're perfectly done, but they're still moist, and they're absolutely perfect. And that's the value of using this method that you found within this video, is being able to keep them moist, keep them tender, but still have that smoke flavor. So I'm going to cut into these ribs here. These are the obviously the baby backs, and you saw previously I was smoking country style as well. The coloration of these are perfect, and as we cut into it, you're going to see how everything looks perfect down to the. Now the one thing you're not going to get, and you saw this in the country style as well, you're not going to get that pronounced smoke ring like you would if you had strictly smoked and not cooked in the oven before. But you still see a little bit of a smoke ring on there. But if I was a competitive barbecue cook, that would be unacceptable because it's not pronounced enough. But to entertain yourself, to entertain family, and to just have absolutely dead-on perfect barbecue, this is the best way to cook it. So I appreciate your viewership. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, youtube.com/IrixGuy, and enjoy all of Chef IrixGuy's videos. And check out my newsletter too. Go to IrixGuy.com, and there's a link where you can sign up for my newsletter. I appreciate it, and I hope y'all's ribs turn out as good as mine did. See you later.